The other situation, once again, it's vague. There's semantics. You got to read between the lines. And that's the situation with Carolina. Because I don't know if there's something there or not. But it's the NFL. It has to do with the number one overall pick and an owner who meddles. Or at least that's the appearance. Owners aren't talent evaluators. When they try to become one, it's usually disastrous. You have an owner in Carolina, David Tepper. He's a billionaire. Of course he is. Well, when you're a billionaire, you know more than anybody else, right? Just ask a billionaire. If you ever get around a billionaire, they're smarter than us. They have $1 billion. Now, they might be smart in one facet, and they made $1 billion because of that. But that doesn't mean that they can run a football team. Or they can run a football team if they let others do their jobs. And most of your successful owners let others do their jobs. They don't need to have a radio show. They don't need to be in the spotlight. They don't need to be commenting on everything. David Tepper, if I'm to believe what is their face value, was pretty insistent on wanting Bryce Young, trading up to get the number one overall pick, and he wanted Bryce Young out of Alabama. Now, if I'm going to read this just on the surface, Frank Reich, the head coach, maybe was more interested in C.J. Stroud. So the owner wanted, now this is just speculation, rumor, innuendo, Bryce Young. Carolina took him, traded up to get, you can't trade up unless you're pretty damn sure. And you're going to trade up to the number one pick, you better be sure. Other teams have traded up, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Mitchell Trubisky, Trey Lance. I mean, you can go down the list here. Teams have traded up. And how did those picks work out? And now you have a situation with David Tepper, and billionaires aren't patient. They expect things right now, and he's not getting things right now. His head coach, Frank Reich, on the situation.
There's different philosophies in ownership. You know what I mean? Some owners kind of stay away and don't engage a whole lot. Other owners do. And his philosophy is he's going to engage. And listen, it's only been a short experience, but it's been a really good experience. It hasn't been fun. It's not fun. Those meetings aren't, I wouldn't characterize them as fun meetings. But those meetings make me better, and I trust they make us better.
Okay. I'm not sure what Frank is saying. I think I know what he's saying. He doesn't want to say it. It's basically, yeah, I got an owner who knows nothing about this. I played the game. I coached the game. I just left an organization that had a meddling owner in, Jim Irsay. But do you need to say anything here? Doesn't it feel like we're putting down breadcrumbs just in case things don't work out? Yeah, Seton.
That soundbite sounds like the conversation you're having with your child when the team they're on really stinks and you're like, hey, it's only going to make you stronger. It's only going to make you, losing. These are the life lessons that you're learning from losing all the time. And ultimately, this is good because it's going to make you stronger as a person. So trust me, this is the way you want it to go. And really, you're like, can't we just win some games?
And I know we're only, 5 games into the season, but we're already questioning Bryce Young. Can he stay healthy? C.J. Stroud looks like a franchise quarterback. So that has to be awkward. Every Monday when you go in and you have somebody say, hey, did you see how C.J. Stroud did? Yeah, I saw that. Okay, guys, let's get ready and we'll go over the Carolina Panthers game film here. By the way, it's an open secret in the league that the owner heavily influenced the quarterback choice. So there's multiple reports that David Tepper heavily influenced. It basically said we're taking Bryce Young. I don't know what heavily influenced mean. It means, hey, it's my team. I have veto power. We're taking Bryce Young. I don't know what they have in Bryce Young. I said that from the outset. He's a wonderful player at Alabama. He is small. And there are very few that are small. Like Drew Brees was small. But Drew Brees is as accurate. He had high football acumen. I mean, but it took him a while to get there. But when you're small and you're slight and you do rely on your legs somewhat here, I mean, even Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is the second coming of Cam Newton. He can't stay healthy. He's on the injured reserve list. He's out for at least 4 games. And, you know, you're seeing C.J. Stroud sort of separate from everybody else with these quarterbacks. But if you have an owner who's involved, how involved are they? And are they influencing? Because, and I've always believed that if I start from the top, I mean, that's what we talk about with great franchises. Start at the top. Okay, if I'm starting at the top, how involved do I want my owner? Or do I want my owner to not be involved at all? Because he is a smart businessman who will hire people to do the job that he wants them to do. Jerry Jones played football. So Jerry Jones feels like he can make these executive decisions. It's his team. Now, he's made some good decisions recently, and maybe he's allowed others to do their job there. But most of the ownership groups or owners allow people, they hire people, not a puppet government, to do their job. Yes, Eaton.
I have a problem, though, if a head coach is passively or subtly, subliminally being like, hey, owner wouldn't let me pick my guys, so what am I going to do?
I was surprised. Okay, I'll give you the word to describe Frank Reich's press conference there, his comments. You guys want it? It's one word. Yes, Todd.
Is it a hyphenated word?
Nope.
Can it be an obscenity?
Because I thought passive-aggressive is where you were going with that.
No, not passive-aggressive. That's you.
That is me. That's why I noticed that. I think it's very passive-aggressive what he did.
It's not a curse word.
What about the word dead man walking?
Dead man. Just one word, dead man walking.
Dead man walking.
Yes, Marvin. You got one word that I thought of when I'm watching Frank Reich.
No, it was an obscenity.
Oh. Painful.
Yeah.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was.
Because Frank Reich has been around for a long, long time and has a pretty good resume. And then you take this job, and then here we are 5-6 weeks into the season, and we're already starting to point the finger. And when he says it's not fun, like, I mean, I appreciate it. It's content for us. But if I'm a Carolina Panther fan, I'm going, what the hell is going on? Wait, what is he saying? The owner wanted this quarterback. I didn't. And keep in mind, you know, in early April, C.J. Stroud was the overwhelming favorite to be the number 1 pick. And then all of a sudden, we started to hear about Carolina and then that they wanted Bryce Young. And then we were told, Sal Palantonio told us in training camp, he's going to be the starter. That sounds like, I don't know if he's earned it, but he's going to be my starter. Who's making this decision? We collectively know it's the owner who made this decision. And then you're watching C.J. Stroud, because that's what happens. When you look at 2 quarterbacks who are taken, 1-2 or 2-3 or, you know, anywhere near each other, we will compare them the rest of their careers. Oh, my God, you could have had. We're doing that with those who passed on Patrick Mahomes. Oh, you could have had him. Bears could have had him. Even Deshaun Watson. Now, there were teams that passed on him as well. So some interesting football here. We're trying to read between the lines with Deshaun Watson and the Browns. And maybe it's just a legitimate injury. But when you say somebody's medically cleared and he doesn't want to play, he chose to sit out his last year in Houston. He was healthy. They just didn't want to put him in. He didn't want to go in. Now you got $230 million guaranteed. Why aren't you out there? And he's played. He plays hurt. But in this situation, something seems to be there. And the same thing with Carolina.